The following is a presentation of the Arizona Cardinals Broadcast Network.
Run it, run it, run it. Let's go. Get out, let's go. Here we go, work at it. Work your technique, do little things right. That's it, all right, roll it.
This is Cardinals Game Plan, presented by Dignity Health. Your hosts, Paul Calvisi and Ron Wolfley, with the head coach, Kliff Kingsbury.
All right, 'tis the season, right? Holidays and football. Welcome in, everyone, and welcome to the head coach, Kliff Kingsbury. And look, you got the response you expected out of the team, the energy, the compete, the fight, the intensity. Didn't get the result you hoped for. And I know Kyler, after the loss to the Steelers, close loss, was hard on himself, but it's never about one player or one play in particular, is it?
It isn't. It isn't. It's a team game, and we had plenty of plays throughout that game we felt like had a chance to help us win the game and didn't get it done. You got to give Pittsburgh a lot of credit. They came in, had a great plan, and executed at a high level.
Let's just get right into it. Just a quick recap here. I mean, you got the stop on third down to force a field goal early. And then Diontae Johnson, after the Cardinals went 3 and out on a punt return. Was there a particular breakdown on the 85-yard return by the Steelers rookie?
I don't think a breakdown as much as it was well blocked, and he did a great job. It was a great punt by Andy. It was one of those
60
ones,
yards.
right?
Yeah.
One of those ones where you know you're going to have to cover and you're going to have to get down there, and gave him a little room to make a move, and got to give them credit. They executed the play.
You know, analytics say it's very tough when a play like that happens. Yet, the Cardinals came back. You would tie it at 10. Offense got it going after a field goal. And then you had the 12-play, 85-yard drive. What'd you like about that drive that resulted in the Charles Clay touchdown?
Really that we moved forward every snap. Most of the game we had some sort of negative play that was really setting back our rhythm and our tempo. And that particular drive, we were moving forward. There was no penalties. There was no negative plays, and we really got in a rhythm.
It seemed like when you go up tempo and it's effective, it simplifies the defense. They can't get nearly as exotic or as complicated as they might want to. Is that accurate?
It tends to make them pretty vanilla when we're going fast and they're having to get lined up to us, and we have to be effective in that phase.
Okay. In fact, let's go with a touchdown pass here. We'll do the film breakdown. And this is 3rd and 4 from the 5, and Kyler, who eventually finds Charles Clay. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we caught him in man coverage, and it's kind of a crossing pattern, trying to run some rub routes for Charles. He did a great job. You can see running his guy through Pharaohs and came open, and it was a big play in the game.
And a late release by Charles Clay as well. Did he sell the run a little bit?
It was. We wanted him just to kind of slow Watt down, what was the intention, and create some separation between him and Chase for the spacing, and he executed it really well.
And a great decision there by Kyler. How much in general just comes down to decision-making for Kyler and any quarterback?
Yeah, that's it, and it comes with time. You know, things are moving really fast out there. You have new game plans every week, and it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of work to master it on a level where you see those top guys every week.
All right, speaking of a play call, right, it's 13-10, Steelers lead, 4th and 8 near midfield in the 3rd quarter, and then we get the fake punt. Tell me about how and why does that happen in that situation?
Yeah, it was a check. Chase saw a look that he liked, and we gave him the green light to check it and executed it perfectly, and I'm glad he got it. It was close on the sideline, but he did a nice job keeping his feet in bounds and finding the first down.
All right, so then the game changes on the 3 ensuing plays. You had the interception by Joe Hayden. Kyler Murray called Hayden a gambler. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he's a savvy vet. I mean, he cheats different route concepts and really is effective at doing it. He obviously prepares very well and knows certain formations, certain looks, and he jumps routes, and you got to give him a lot of credit for making that play.
And Diontae Johnson for the Steelers, he turned a loss into a gain of 14. He reverses field. That gave them 1st and goal at the 2. That was a tough one, wasn't it?
That was tough. We had a negative play there. Would have been 2nd and 12 with a young quarterback, and instead we let him get out and get down there to 1st and goal, and then have a penalty the next play, which puts them even closer. And just can't have that to win those type games.
All right, then there was a touchdown catch in the corner of the end zone near the pylon by the rookie, 20-10. Then after a bizarre fake punt by the Steelers, and by the way, Dennis Gardeck after the game said their mistake was that they came to his side. Gardeck's confidence
like
showing through on that one.
Yeah, that sounds like him. He takes a lot of pride in his preparation, special teams play, and made a heck of a play.
And then the Cardinals rally. You had the 24-yard touchdown, Kyler to David Johnson. Man, David makes it look easy catching that ball, doesn't he?
He does. He's a natural receiver, and that's a big part of his game is his receiver skill set.
And that pass, for him to layer that, Kyler, over several levels of the defense, I mean, that's next level, isn't it?
He fit it in. He's got a lot of confidence in his arm and made a great throw to give us a chance in that game.
And there was an inability to get off the field, right? 3rd and 13, right before the 2-minute warning, and you still had a timeout in your pocket. That's where you're really pulling for your defense, weren't you? Yeah,
that was a big play. You got to give their quarterback credit. He moved around and found a receiver, but you like to get off the field there and save that timeout.
You know, the other interception by Kyler that was critical that he mentioned after the game, it was 4th and 2 at the 6. In hindsight, he could have just run for the first down pretty easily, couldn't he? He's out in space?
Yeah, I believe so, but that's easy for us to say sitting here in our chair, and it's moving full speed, and you got T.J. Watt out there in front of you. But he's a playmaker. He made a decision to try and fit that ball in. It didn't work out this time, but he'll learn from it and be better moving forward.
What separates some of those great plays, those Pro Bowl caliber plays, from some of the rookie mistakes? What's the difference?
Just going through it. You know, I think you don't know what you don't know at that position. Every rep he's getting, every live game rep is invaluable for his development, and he'll continue to get better. He's going to make some mistakes, and he's going to have some flash plays, and as you get used to the speed of the game, those great plays become the norm, and the bad plays become fewer and fewer.
Next up, Coach Kingsbury puts the focus on the Cleveland Browns and the first head-to-head matchup of former Sooners Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield when Cardinals Game Plan returns. Cardinals Game Plan is brought to you by Dignity Health, hello human kindness, and by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
All right, well, if you're going to talk about Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, I think we have the guy to do it. Kliff Kingsbury, as we continue with the Cardinals head coach. You tell us about this matchup of quarterbacks. What stands out the most to you?
Two great competitors, extremely great arm talent in both guys, smart, can process, can see the field, and then I think their ability to make plays. They both use their legs really well to extend plays and find guys open down the field.
To what degree do you see these two as the future of football, where, you know, that excellent athlete, you know, the ability to extend plays? I mean, a lot of what we're continuing to see more of in the NFL. Do these guys typify that in a lot of ways?
I think it's heading that way. I think you look at Russ, the year he's having Wilson and what he's done in his career, and Patrick there in Kansas City, and Lamar. I mean, there's guys that can move and throw, and it's tough on a defense.
What jumps off the page on the Browns' passing attack? Jarvis Landry, you know, OBJ, Baker Mayfield. How would you describe their passing attack?
I mean, they got a lot of weapons. You throw in the tight end, you throw in two really good running backs that can both catch out of the backfield. They attack you in a bunch of different ways. Two of the best wide receivers in the game, and Baker is really good at distributing the football.
You know, you got Hunt, you got Nick Chubb, and I think going into the Cincinnati game, they were the #1 rushing team in the NFL, and really they didn't get it going until they got that rushing game in gear. So is that where the defensive game plan starts for the Cardinals?
I think so. We got to be able to slow that down, and like I said, there's a lot of weapons, so it's kind of pick your poison, but hopefully we can slow that down, and you know, we got to handle the back end on the pass as well.
Of course, former Cardinals head coach Steve Wilks is the defensive coordinator for the Browns. How would you describe that defense? What do you see on film?
Yeah, multiple, aggressive attacking, you know, blitzing and pressuring, and they fly around with the football. They've done a good job there, mixing things up, and it'll be a big challenge for our offense.
Have you seen defenses adjust to Kyler a little bit now that there's a dozen games worth of game film out there? Sort of like in Major League Baseball, a hitter will come up, he'll be really hot, and then they'll notice, okay, he can't hit the slider low and away. Is there anything they're doing in particular now to challenge Kyler?
I wouldn't say that. I think every defense comes in with a different plan and tries to execute at a high level, but I don't see anything consistent in those patterns.
What else would you say right now as an offense you'd love to see over these last 3 games before you go into the offseason?
Yeah, protecting the football and avoiding the negative plays. I think since we've come back from the bye, just too many negative plays have really stalled drives, and we've gotten a good rhythm prior to the bye of eliminating those, and then we got to get back to that.
More with Coach Kingsbury later in the show. Up next, 2 linebackers, 2 microphones, both wired for sound against the Steelers. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan. Close friends and fellow linebackers Joe Walker and Dennis Gardick play the game with passion and pride, and both were mic'd up against the Steelers. Wired, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers.
Hey, I know y'all feel this energy.
Great players, great teams don't have 2 bad games in a row. It's a great week of practice. Preparation been off the chain, and we about to put on a show today. You hear me? Hey, let's have some fun and play together, and let's do it for each other. Let's go, family on 3. 1, 2, 3, bam!
Oh, my guy running out the tunnel today, huh? Get the little intro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
My boy Joe! Whoa! Let's go, Joe! Let's go, Joe! Let's go!
Hey, learn to pull.
Hodges takes the snap, gives it to Snell, running to the right. He's to the 25-yard line, and King tackled at the 22.
Hey, good tackle.
Hodges takes the snap and hands it off to Samuels. It was Joe Walker on the stop.
Yep. Stop.
So Andy Lee back at his 11-yard line. Deontay Johnson is at his 20. The punt right to left. Lee just got it away. It's a good kick. Backing up as Johnson fields it on the 15. Runs left to the 20. Back to the right at the 30-yard line. Look out. Got a seam at the 35, at the 40, at the 50, at the 40-yard line, the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. No penalty flags. And the Steelers lead 9-0.
I'm hot. You're out.
Shotgun snap to Hodges. 3-step drop pressure coming. Pass to the near side is caught at the 50-yard line by Trey Edmonds. Joe Walker with a tackle.
Hey, left.
3rd and 4 on the Pittsburgh 5. A bunch formation to the left of Kyler Murray, who takes the shotgun snap. Drops back to throw. Looking. Fires to the left. Open is Clay. It's a touchdown. Charles Clay got open on the goal line. Kyler Murray put it on him.
Big drive here now. Big drive here now. It's good stuff.
They're a point after away from tying the game.
I'm knocking somebody out. It could be them, it could be me. Somebody getting knocked out.
Zay Gonzalez kicking it off right to left. In the field to play on the goal line is White. He runs far side of the 10, and he is knocked down to the 12-yard line by Gardeck. Good job there by the Cardinals special teams.
Yeah!
Love the energy.
Yeah!
That's what you want to see.
Yeah!
3rd and 5 of the Steelers, 17, an empty set for Hodges. Drops straight back to throw, flushed out of the pocket, taken off far side at the 15-yard line. The 20 sticks the ball up, trying to get the first down, but he won't.
We're about to pour it on him right here, boys. I'm ready. Where's Chase? Hey, let's go.
Andy Lee on the punt for the 4th time. And they fake it. It's a direct snap running to the left at the 45 is Edmonds. He tiptoes the sideline and has the first down. 8:15 on the clock, 20-10 Pittsburgh leads. And it's a fake. Perry goes straight ahead and he fumbles the ball at the 30-yard line. The Steelers recover it, but it won't matter. It's going to be Cardinal ball.
38 can't block me.
Cardinals within 3, short kickoff fielded on the 5 by White. Runs right to the 10, back to the left of the 15, and tackled at the 16-yard line.
Way to go.
Hey, that's huge. Gave him opportunity. Gave him a chance.
Hodges takes the snap, takes a knee, and the Steelers improve to 8-5. The Cardinals fall to 3-9-1.
Cardinals insiders Darren Urban and Kyle Odegaard join Paul Calvisi to preview Sunday's game with the Browns. Next on Cardinals Game Plan. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan. Darren Urban, Kyle Odegaard, and Paul Calvisi, our insiders, put the spotlight on the opponent. Presented by Phillips Law Group.
All right, my education continues here as we bring in Cardinals insiders Darren Urban, Kyle Odegaard. No lack of storylines to write about this week on azcardinals.com. We got former coaches. We have quarterback connections. All right, first off, Kyler and Baker Mayfield. Break it down for us, Darren.
Well, I mean, obviously they had a chance to play together in college at Oklahoma, and by all accounts, they seemed to get along really well. Kyler Murray, once he transferred to Oklahoma, seemed to understand that Baker Mayfield was going to get the first chance, and he kind of bided his time. And Baker Mayfield obviously won the Heisman Trophy and was the #1 overall pick. And then Kyler Murray got a chance to play a little football himself and won the Heisman Trophy and was the #1 pick. So it's a very nice storyline heading into this game. And in fact, when Kyler Murray got drafted by the Cardinals, Baker Mayfield, I think, tweeted at him and said, I can't wait to see you in December, or something along those lines. So this is a game that both of them have been paying attention to.
And both are ultra competitive. You can't tell me the game within the game isn't these two and their matchup.
There's going to be a bunch of bragging rights on the line. And yeah, like you said, both of these guys really want to win this game against each other, but for their teams. It's almost like playing your brother at something in the backyard. Like, you just want those bragging rights. That means more than anything else. And these two guys are, I'm sure, going to be chirping at each other.
All right, and then Kyle, of course, Freddie Kitchens, Browns head coach, longtime Cardinals assistant between Ken Wisenon and then Bruce Arians. And then Steve Wilks, Cardinals head coach last year as a defensive coordinator for the Browns.
Yeah, and Steve Wilks is the guy who a lot of these guys still have the connection with, because Freddie Kitchens was here a few years ago, and there's some guys that are still on the team that knew him, but I think Steve Wilks still knows a lot of the defensive players, and it'll be interesting for the Cardinals on offense going against a defense that they saw last year. And does either team have the advantage there? They know each other personnel-wise and schematically. We'll see how it turns out, but clearly the Cardinals do have a good familiarity with both coaches.
And Darren, we both go way back with Freddie Kitchens. Everybody loves Freddie, but not this week. He's the opposing head coach, and man, the Browns have been up and down this year, haven't they?
It's been a tough year for him in a lot of ways, and part of that was the expectations. They had Mayfield coming off a really nice rookie season. They brought in Odell Beckham. They had a lot of pieces there that people thought was going to be the next step, and then they decided to make Freddie Kitchens, who had been on staff last year as an assistant, they promoted him when in reality Freddie hadn't spent a lot of time as a coordinator in this league and never been a head coach. So they've been up and down. I think this is a game he's going to want very dearly. We know Steve Wilks will probably want this game very badly, and the Cardinals obviously need a win themselves.
Speaking up and down, Kyler Murray, he went 5 straight games without a pick. He has 5 in his last 4 games. We know the last time, a couple of critical picks in the red zone. I think we forgot he was a rookie, but the last couple of games, Kyle, he's reminded us he's a rookie.
Yeah, you felt like the rookie roller coaster was going to come this year, and it never did for like 10 games. And you thought, wow, is this kid just going to be great all the time? And it did happen. I think the interior pressure and the exterior pressure on the line has gotten to him the last couple of games. And that's hard for any quarterback, whether you're young or old. When a team is in your face consistently, it's hard to keep your eyes downfield. And he's definitely dealing with some of this as a rookie.
How do you think he's handling this learning experience?
I think actually he's done a little bit better lately, Paul, than I thought maybe he would, especially given the fact, like we just talked about, the fact that he hadn't had a lot of those downs on a personal level for a long time, and maybe he thought he was going to be past it. But I think he's done a really nice job. You can tell, and when we interact with him in post-game press conferences, I think he's matured there already, and he's in handling that better. And I think he understands there are things he's got to learn, and there's a lot he can accomplish in these last 3 games.
How about the Cardinals at home? They've won 2 of their last 15 at State Farm Stadium, Kyle. How big would it be to get a win just to end the home season that way?
Yeah, I think clearly just for the fans who are coming out week by week, and they obviously watch the road games, and the Cardinals have looked pretty good on the road this season, but they have stumbled at home, like you said, the last 2 years. I think the team, you're out of the playoff race, and it doesn't mean a bunch in the grand scheme of things, but to give your fans something to cheer about, to feel better about yourself at home at the end of the year, it would be nice to finish the regular season slate at home with a victory.
Coach Kingsbury's thoughts on Sunday's final home game of 2019 when we return. Cardinals Game Plan has been brought to you by Dignity Health, Hello Human Kindness, and by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
All right, wrapping up with the head coach, Kliff Kingsbury, and you had mentioned the teams atop the NFC are the teams that are best, at least have the best records in one-score games.
Yeah, it's a league of parity, and every week it's going to come down to that last possession and one score. And the teams that are winning this league, San Fran and New Orleans and Seattle, they're have those records that are really good in those one-score games. And unfortunately for us, we're not there yet, but we got to find a way to start winning these close ones.
And if you can, do you believe in carryover one season to the next?
I think you can build momentum. I think you can definitely kind of establish a culture and what you're about and where you're heading.
Speaking of establishing, how about restoring home field advantage at State Farm Stadium? That would be great going into next year, I imagine.
It would. We've had our struggles at home, which is unfortunate with the great fan base we have, and we'd love to send them out the right way.
All right, so how about a couple of keys to victory against this Browns team from what you've seen on film?
Yeah, it starts, with that wideout core, and we got to find a way to handle OBJ and Landry. They're both very talented, and then the running backs are great players, and so defensively we'll have our hands full trying to slow those guys down. And offensively, I mentioned earlier, we got to protect the football. They got an attacking defense, and we got to make sure that we're not giving them anything free.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Cardinals Game Plan.